Hi, my name is Joy, and today I'll be sharing with you my pitch deck. I'll be pitching about women empowerment, specifically young entrepreneurs. So, the logline is basically an L-style editorial video, and it tells you about how young women start out their business in the world in having leadership roles and how they are able to show off their boss skills, their female empowerment, their resilience all throughout their business journey. And we're going to dive right in the next page. Okay, so the synopsis for this basically looks at this particular business called Fairies Isles. It's about them sharing about their experiences working in Fairies Isles. A lot of it is about what they are currently doing, and they will be exploring about what drives them and how they navigate the process at such a young age. So for me, my takeaway of this core message, if of this whole power woman empowerment would be if she can do it, you can too. So there were initially three ideas that were explored besides woman empowerment, actually. So there was also family relationships, sustainable fashion, but we chose woman empowerment in the end because I decided that in my group, I told my team, I don't think there's much young entrepreneurs out there that were able to voice out their opinions, or basically the world hasn't really about seen much of them, like young women that are actually handling businesses out there on their own. Because most of the time I always see successful entrepreneurs or businessmen. So it's really female, and specifically young females. So I really thought that that would be quite interesting to share. Yeah. To me, it has strong personal storytelling, and it's quite relevant also, I would say, to this day and age because a lot of people, especially a lot of young people, want to start out business, but they don't know how or they're not confident enough. So hopefully this boosts their confidence more into opening out their own business. So as I said earlier, the interview subject is Ferries Isles. They operate within Singapore at Orchard Road, um, where these young entrepreneurs sells vintage and secondhand fashion clothings. They also actually sell more than just clothings. They sell lots of thrift items from jewelries to plushies to small little keychains. You name it, they have it all. So this is their Instagram page, as you can. Okay, so these are two of them, and this is their page, Fairies Isles, where they showcase all of their products that they sell, as you can see. Okay, so I mentioned earlier why we chose this interviewee, and this is just a bit more of the rundown. So what I was looking for is people who start businesses at a young age and they're able to explain or share their experience about how they develop their independence and their leadership skills. Also, how their brand is formed about, how does it come about in even in this type of environment or period where you can say it's quite difficult to sustain a business. Yeah. And lastly, also whether how they do it through this confidence and this journey, because having a shop like that means that they have to communicate with customers and stuff and how they handle it. That's what we want to know. Okay, so for our target audiences, like I mentioned, young audience, young entrepreneurs would be women aged 21 to 29. So currently they are around that age, but they started their business at the age of 16. So this was the inspiration that we took, that we wanted to showcase about women empowerment. So it's just as simple, minimalist, just showcase the woman in the frame and that they are business-like. So this screams businesswoman or business empowerment, if you would say so. And we got inspired by L editorial videos and luxury brand campaigns like uh, over here, Chanel is one example. So this is the style that we went for. It's more of like an interview style. So it's what I like about this interview style is it's very go with the flow. So it's not scripted at all. There is no what you need to say first or you need to memorize this. It's all just questions and answers. So as you can see over here, they're more of the visual style. And this would just be the how I would be recording them. So during the interview, I on some white lights, but also with mixture of yellow lights, like their normal store lights. And then the framing is just them, just both of them. And there's not much movement involved, but it's more like a mixture of when they're talking and then there are some B-roll shots here and there. Um, yeah. So yes, the location that I filmed at was in Orchard area. So we did film the whole place in Orchard, and where we filmed the interview was at their store, Fairy Isles. Fairy's Isles, yes. Um, yes, and for the B-roll plans, we also did busy street crossing, yeah, we did all of those crowded areas, um, on the pedestrian crossing area. It's all outdoors. Yeah. So this is examples of the places that we've filmed at. So as you can say it's Orchard Central. Yeah. Um yeah, so these are my team. You have myself. I'm the director and the videographer, so I'm responsible for the whole filming process and also instructing my team on what to do and what to prepare for and what to bring. And Nicolette, who I work closely, Um, she's the styling and model preparation. So basically all she does is just make sure that everything is prim and proper, everything looks good and presentable before we begin. But everything is all just natural. There's not much planning involved. Her role was just to watch and make sure everything was nice and good. And for Ting, he helped us with the location. So I was figuring out which area in Orchard should we film, and as well as for the shooting of the interview, which exact spot is the best spot to film at. So after hearing all of their inputs, I gather their thoughts and the outcome was been made. So for the video would be the 5 minute video structure. And basically, as what you see, we did the opening of Orchard area. This shows like where the place is at, followed by the introduction of the interviewee, explaining who they are and where they're from. And then it start with straight with their personal journey. So the story behind Fairies Isles and uh how long or what have they been doing in Fairies Isles? Those stuff. And for challenges and growth, I wanted the audience to feel uh drawn in, to feel personal and real, that they are not the only one feeling that way. It happens to every young entrepreneurs, or rather, it's common, or it's possible to do things regardless of all the noises you hear and all those stuff that people are very interested to know more about. And then for the end, it's also encouragement for everyone so that all these young entrepreneurs, those young women out there, they're being encouraged and they will gain confidence after watching this video. And I did a 60-second promo as well. So for that trailer, it was short, straightforward, and sweet. I picked up all the important stuff that's needed. And I would say there's three stills. So the first one directly goes into the message, the core message. Middle would be about the shop, and then also about what I quoted, what they quoted on about Fairies Isles. A personal quote, I would say, yeah. And then the last one would be just the shop of like what it looks like. Yeah. So I kind of blend in the emotional highlights and the teaser ending. That's more of like their store and about like that shows who they are. Yeah. And these are the storyboard, as you can see. So this consists of the 60 seconds and the 5 minute actually, but I put it as 5 minute because it's all uh the same actually. Yeah. And these are the interview questions that I asked them. So for the interview question, we try our best to make it as straightforward and easy, so not a mouthful, so that they're able to uh explain more or share more than listening to our questions or remembering what they have to answer and all that, you know. Yeah. So for the budget, a lot of it was from not a lot of it. Everything was from me. So I have my camera, my DJI Pocket 3. I have my microphone, audio DJI mic. I also have my lighting setup, like the two lights and the stands, two stands, all those. The only thing that we managed to spend money on the whole trip was mainly just on food. So we each have a budget. Well, $8 was the max. We didn't really eat much because it was a 1 day shoot. Um, the other days we kind of like meet here and there, so there was not much refreshments involved. Yeah. So I would just say that the total cash cost would be $8. Um, yeah, for transports, logistics were in kind. So yeah, and transport would be we go on our separate ways. So we meet each other at Orchard Road to shoot, to film, all that stuff. And yeah, the location was in the interviewees store, Ferry's Isles, and they were very kind enough for us to film them for free. So it was just like a collab, and we told them that once the video is done, we will upload it or we will send it to them as well. So yeah, it's a win-win situation. We film them and then they get to have the video. Oh yes, so you saw this already, sorry. Um, yeah, okay, the 5-minute video structure. So for this one, there was lots of planning involved. It took us quite a while, but we got there. So there were problem solution. The problem about this shooting was that the interviewee was actually unresponsive for a long period. And to be honest, it kind of go back and forth till I decided to give up hope and tell my lecturer that tell Sean that, oh, can I just shoot someone else? And the someone else was the backup plan B was me because I'm also a young entrepreneur. So I actually went for it. I messaged and we decided to do me. But it means that all my other works have to be shifted, have to be tweaked, you know, have to be re-edited again. And we didn't have much time because by the time we waited for the interviewee, it was close to the deadline. So that's what I did for the solution. The next one, there was a point where the entire project direction felt like it had to be changed last minute. So this, we actually wanted to change women empowerment entirely because we thought it was really a struggle. It was possible to film me and all of that, but my team was not enjoying the topic of no, we don't like doing interview shots. We were like we thought we had to do interview at the beginning, and then after having some miscommunication within one another, and we checked with our lecturers, um, Miss Ace, she said it's not a must to do interview shots. So there was not much proper communication between the team. So, but we ended up still doing the interview kind of shots. And yeah, I would say everything worked out in the end because there was always a solution. Yeah. The interviewee's availability did not align with our schedule and deadline. Yes, everything that I mentioned. Oh yes. At the end of the whole interviewee's availability, she managed to message us and we managed to find a date that we can shoot and film everything in one day. Hence, I mentioned earlier that we filmed everything at Orchard Road and all in one day before the sunset. Now, we had very limited time to prepare for the actual shoot. So what I did was I focused on prioritizing the key shots and trusted my instincts during filming instead of over planning. So what I did was there was every time I plan, it doesn't end up happening or there's always changes. So I decided to scrap that, to not focus too much on it, to not stress too much on it, and just go with the flow. Whatever works, just go with it. Whatever comes to my plate, go with it. There was not much time. It's better than not submitting anything. It's better than not moving forward, not doing anything, right? Or giving up. Okay, next, the shoot itself was not fully planned and many things had to be done on the spot. Like I said, on the spot, on the job. It's literally like an on-the-job training. Like you don't know what you're doing or coming towards, and you just dropped with all of these things. Yeah. I adapted through the improvisation and made decisions in real life, in real time, guiding the team based on the situation. Yes. The interview-based format felt unpredictable and difficult to control at times. Yeah, so a lot of the times when I'm actually shooting the interviewee, They either don't know what to say still, or they needed more time, and it was very uh I wouldn't say time consuming, but a lot of the ideas in the plan that we had in our head just does not execute correctly or what we wanted. So we had to change the some of the questions again, or we have to maybe on the spot give them another similar type of questions or that can help prompt them to answer better. So, like I said, I allowed the conversations to flow naturally and adjusted questions according to the responses instead of forcing a fixed structure. And lastly, there were moments of doubts about whether our chosen approach was the right decision. So I reflected on the process and recognized that these challenges helped me develop adaptability and confidence in directing. So this is the overall uh, summary if I were to conclude from this whole experience. Yeah, the overall process was stressful when things did not go according to plan. When I say stressful, I'm not even exaggerating. I stayed persistent though and focused on finding solutions, which allowed the project to be completely successful in the end. Yay! Okay, that's it for my presentation. So if you were to ask me about this whole entire process, I am kind of glad that I chose woman empowerment because it feels very comfortable to me. Everyone around me was all in the same mindset, I would say. Everyone was all learning and growing at the same time. And this interview kind of gave us more bonding and a lot of um, good connections. If I were to choose the other two, I don't think I know where to begin also. Because when I came up with woman empowerment, I instantly knew what I needed to do. So I felt like there was a link. I resonate with that. Yeah. So that's it.